Jimmy Black with Music on 11. I'm here with the Genitorturers in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where you guys are going to be playing at the Vangaurd tonight.
We are.
How's the tour going so far?
Well, it's the second night of our tour, and so far so good. No disasters yet. Actually, last night was really awesome in Dallas at Trees, and we did kind of a special thing called Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was pretty cool because Mr. Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund himself, was there, I guess because it's the big Fear Con.
You guys got to meet him too, didn't you?
The club is actually on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
In Deep Elm.
So that went well, and you know, what can people expect at the show now? I mean, you guys have been doing this for about 20 years or so.
Well, or so.
Or so. I know it's the 20th anniversary of the initial album, the 120 Days of Genitorture.
Yes.
And you guys did a couple of shows, pretty much where we played the whole album through. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. What we did is we did a big 20th year anniversary show in our hometown of Tampa, Florida, and we had the original players that played on the album, well, at least most of them, that recorded and did that touring cycle that was associated with that album, and the Danzig tour, of course, that we did, and so that was really cool. You know, unfortunately, as time marches on with people that have different lives, and you know, I still do music, you know, 100% of the time, and you know, we kind of looked at the options for them doing a tour and doing parts of it. We did about 5 shows, and then, you know, realized that they just really weren't able to do this lengthy touring,
right.
You know. And these fellas, Eric Griffin has been playing with me for the last few years, and so is Chris. And Ryan played guitar for us on last year's tour, and so it just kind of all came together.
Now, you guys, this lineup is going to be recording the next album, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
How's the writing on that going so far?
Well, actually, I already have about 7 or 8 songs that are tracked, and I've got vocals on a bunch, and we just need to finish tracking, and got some great people on board to do some mixing and little things.
That's
and
awesome.
I think it's going to be a good record.
Do you have a kind of an estimated project of when it should be done? Or?
I'm really hoping for fall of this year. So.
Any new themes? Anything direction you're kind of thinking of just yet?
Yeah, I mean, you know, what it is it's always an evolution with Genitorturers. On Blackheart Revolution, I think you kind of heard the whole roots of all of the things that kind of made up Genitorturers and who we are, going back to our roots. And I think this is even, you know, once again, going forward, it's going to be this record will probably be a little darker, shall we say. A little darker. A little darker.
So, I saw you guys back in '94, and the stage show was very, very interesting, to say the least. And I saw some things that I had never seen anybody else do. And
that you could never unsee.
Exactly.
You could never unsee.
You know, the things that were going on at the show were the things people thought Marilyn Manson was doing. You know, I mean, all of the rumors and things, those things were actually going on at your show.
Right.
But nowadays, everybody has a camera. Everybody is pointing their cell phone at the stage. How much does that change the dynamic of what you can do?
To be honest, it changes it quite a bit. And it's so funny because, you know, we do so many different kinds of shows. And a lot of our shows have to do with the people that we participate with. And then when, you know, I predicated the band, you know, back, you know, years ago when I started it, about integrating the audience and having audience participants. So, like, the whole idea of what we've done has always been, you know, the fact that, yeah, we've got all these crazy characters that are part of our Genitorturers, you know, touring crew, but we also use a lot of fans and freaks and people that come out specifically to interact with us. And, of course, you know, that changes over time. I think it's something that, you know, I'm a little bit more careful about, making sure that people can have masks on and they could, you know, remain
anonymous,
but,
so to speak.
Yeah, because once again, all the world's a stage now. You know, we used to have locked door shows where we would lock the doors and it was just like, you know, anything goes. And these days, yeah, it is a little bit different. You know, everything though, I think is, you know, climate has changed. We have, as Genitorturers, I think, succeeded in like really pushing the envelope.
Oh yeah.
And opening some doors and, well, a few other things too. But anyway, but I think that, you know, things are changing, and so it's very interesting to travel around the country and to see that kind of evolution also in mindset. It's kind of funny, in some regards, some fans are more reluctant to participate and just jump on stage, whereas, you know, in other settings, you've got people that just feel like they just really want to be a part of it. So, it kind of depends on the night. It's different every
single
single
night. It also makes
night.
for a unique show and experience each
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
That's something I've talked about is, everybody, they're watching the stage through their little cell phone, just holding it up instead of actually being a part and immersing themselves in that. And there's been a couple...
Up.
Yeah, exactly. Just put the phone down.
Look up.
Danzig has disallowed that at his shows. And the last show that I went...
How do you disallow that?
Security. You pretty much...
so that people just can't put their phone
yes.
up?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you can... It's just...
you know what? It made the show a lot more... because you were focused on what was going on instead of the jerk in front of you with the blue screen.
True, and so I guess too, if you respect the artist and they say these are our wishes, whether how much enforceable it is ultimately, it's also the fact that if you're being respectful towards the artist. So.
And it keeps you in the show. I mean, you're not going to watch it through a little blue screen. You actually want to be immersed in what's going on stage. And with the amount of things that you guys have going on, if you even move your eyes that way, you're going to miss something.
Exactly.
So, what's the strangest thing that's happened that you can talk about? With audience participation. Do you have a story?
It's overwhelming, really. I don't even really know. We have one. I don't know. Stumpy? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we have one fan that's awesome, and he is a. Is it a birth?
Yeah, he was born.
He has an odd, interesting birth defect where he does not have a hand.
Okay.
But it's a very shall we say pleasantly shaped.
It's got a little nub on the end, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's up, Brandon?
So
now you guys are also working on a DVD.
Yeah, and that's something that this is a pretty cool DVD because it's not only going to have live footage, but it's also going to be from a fan's perspective in the sense of like stories. We set up some of the shows these Black Heart confessional booths, and so people could literally get in there and tell their stories. First time see the scar on my eye. First time I saw Genitorturers. I took my girlfriend and she was so pissed at me she came home and threw me through a glass hot coffee table. Whatever. I mean, but there's all these things about, people and all their experiences. And then also people telling their, perspective of what the band meant to them at a certain point in their life, I think is really interesting because, we have been around now so many years that, now people are bringing their kids to our shows.
Get out of here.
No. So anyway.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And like in Orlando, this girl, she's like, I've had this T-shirt forever since I was a little kid. She's like, she's been listening to your music since she was a little girl. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway.
All right, Orlando. Now, is there anything that you haven't accomplished in your career that you still like one more little thing that you want to do? Sometimes people are like, oh, I want to go play this place or I want to play with this band. Is there anything you've set your sights on that you haven't accomplished yet?
We've done a lot of really cool stuff, and to be honest, one of my big ones was being able to, we did, play with bands like, AC/DC. I think Download Festival was a really exciting thing for all of us because it's 125,000 people, and that was pretty impressive. We've done, some pretty cool shows like for Wave Gothic where we played in the castle and things like that. So we've
Brutal Assault.
Brutal Assault was awesome too. That was like in a fortress, and I don't know. We haven't played with Kiss yet. We were in Gene's magazine, but hey, dude, hook me up.
Gene watches my show, so did you hear that?
He had me in Tongue magazine. He came out. I was the funniest call one time. We were playing the Key Club in Hollywood. It was right after NAMM, and he'd come by the NAMM booth, and all the guys were, oh my God, Gene Simmons came to the booth, but he came looking for you, because we'd had our bass player had the Demonator bass, and so. And he's a huge fan of Gene, so he left this card and he says, "Oh, I want to speak with Jenny. I want to speak with Jenny." And it's okay. So he calls. I'm in rehearsal. What are we rehearsing at the Key Club? And I get this phone call, and I said I couldn't really hear it because the bottom of the Key Club is like kind of bad cell reception, and so I thought he said Glenn Fittich or something. I said, who is this Glenn Fittich? He goes, "No, I'm Gene Simmons." I went, oh, okay. Walked outside. Hello.
It's like getting a call from the president.
And he's like, I want to have you in my magazine, Tom, and I want to come down and bring my film crew. So he came down and just came down to the show, and it was just funny because he comes down. Gene, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he doesn't. he's never drank or smoked or anything, and so he's very, very, to business. And
yes.
And we're getting ready, and I have, half one eyelash on and half my corset on, and I'm kind of running around trying to get ready to show, and he just, I just hear this, I don't care who you kissed, you're not coming backstage. He goes, no, I'm being sent for this. So he's trying to get backstage. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm half dressed. I run out there and, just, hey, Gene, come on. But then it's like really like intimidating because the backstage isn't that big. It's like this room. And he just sits down. I go, would you like something to drink? He goes, I take a Diet Coke. And he sits there with his Diet Coke and just watches me get ready. And it was just so weird because I'm like trying to I'm not trying to be uncool, but I've got to be on stage, and then I'm half dressed, and I'm just like, hey, doing my makeup and talking to him. But it was a pretty interesting experience. He came to quite a few of our shows after that.
Oh, that's awesome. So what's going to come next? What is after this tour? What are you guys going to be doing?
Well, really finishing the record and also getting gathering some more stuff for the DVD and putting together. We're also working on a good friend of mine is an amazing creative writer, and her and I have been working on kind of like a history biography type thing for the band, for the just tour stories and really all the twisted fun things that you would hope to hear from Genitorturers too. So I'm sure I kind of put all those things together and see what comes out as the product.
Awesome. Okay. Well, if people want to get a hold of you, they want to figure out what's going on, where are they going to go?
Obviously Facebook, Genitorturers, that's what everyone uses. Our website's the best thing, too, in terms of joining our email list, because, it sucks with Facebook because you can't really connect directly with your fans in terms of sending a mass email. Yeah. You used to be able to do that. No, they shut that down. So, but if you're on our email list on Genitorturers.com, then you're going to always know what the heck we're doing.
All right, you guys have any last words for your fans out there? Anything to say?
Well, they haven't really said anything yet.
They were so talkative before the camera came on.
Chris doesn't talk a lot.
Buy us drinks after the show.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Drinks after the show. Any last words for you?
Just hopefully everyone will come out and see us on this tour. I think it's a fantastic show where you're going to get to hear songs that you haven't heard in a long time fans, and then plus you're going to get to hear the new material that these guys really rock out.
Awesome. So you guys are playing some new stuff?
Oh yeah, we're playing the whole kind of
catalog.
Yes.
All
Selections
right.
from every release.
Awesome. Keep it turned up to 11.
Alrighty.